When you hear about a new blockbuster, your ears might perk up at the mention of a massive budget. You know the ones. $200 million for a CGI-laden spectacle that promises jaw-dropping visuals and heart-pounding action. But hold up. Just because a movie is loaded with cash doesn't mean it's going to be good. In fact, some of the biggest budget films have left audiences scratching their heads, wondering how so much money could lead to such a monumental letdown. Let's dive into this phenomenon, looking at films that broke the bank but crashed and burned when it came to critical reception. Spoiler alert, big bucks don't always equal big fun. First on the chopping block is John Carter, a film that cost around $250 million to make. Based on the classic sci-fi novel by Edgar Rice Burroughs, it promised epic battles and alien worlds. But what did we get instead? A convoluted plot that confused audiences more than it entertained them. John Carter had stunning visuals, no doubt about it. The CGI was top-notch, bringing the alien landscapes of Mars to life. However, the script was a mess. Viewers were bombarded with exposition that felt more like a history lesson than engaging storytelling. The dialogue was cringe-worthy at times, and the characters lacked depth. So while the budget was impressive, the execution was anything but. Critics pointed out that the film was trapped in its own ambition, trying to be both an origin story and an action film, which diluted its impact. As a result, John Carter not only flopped at the box office but also left many fans feeling cheated. Next up is The Lone Ranger, which had a budget of around $225 million and featured Johnny Depp in a lead role. Sounds promising, right? Wrong. Critics and audiences alike were quick to dismiss it as a bloated, messy affair that struggled to find its footing. While Depp's portrayal of Tonto had its moments, the film's tone was all over the place. Was it a comedy? A serious action flick? Who knows? The storyline felt stretched and incoherent, making it hard to stay engaged. It attempted to balance humor with darker themes, but ended up being a jumbled mess. The pacing was off, and scenes dragged on longer than necessary. At the end of the day, audiences just didn't connect with the characters, which led to a disappointing box office performance. Many walked out of the theater feeling like they had wasted their time and money. The Transformers series. It's a classic example of how big budgets can't save a franchise from losing its way. The Last Knight had a staggering budget of $217 million, yet it was panned for its incoherent plot and excessive length. By the fifth installment, many audiences had already tuned out. The dialogue was painfully cheesy, and the plot was convoluted enough to make your head spin. Critics noted that it felt like the filmmakers were throwing everything at the wall to see what would stick. The CGI, while impressive, became more of a distraction than an enhancement. Instead of investing in character development and storytelling, the filmmakers opted for bigger explosions and flashier robots. As a result, it felt like a cash grab rather than a genuine attempt to tell a compelling story. Fans of the original cartoons were left feeling betrayed, longing for the charm and depth that had been lost in the spectacle. When Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice was announced, comic book fans were buzzing with excitement. With a budget of $250 million, it had the potential to be a game-changer in the superhero genre. Unfortunately, it turned out to be more of a game-ender. Critics slammed the film for its grim tone and convoluted narrative. The plot tried to cram too many elements into one film, leading to a narrative that felt bloated and unfocused. The character motivations were muddled, and instead of being a thrilling showdown between two beloved heroes, it became a confusing slog. Fans expected a nuanced exploration of the characters' ideologies, but instead, they were treated to a series of poorly explained plot twists. The film's attempts to set up future DC Universe films felt forced and disjointed. Despite its high production value, it failed to resonate with both audiences and critics, proving that star power and hefty budgets can't mask poor storytelling. Lightyear, with its budget of around $200 million, aimed to delve into the origin story of Buzz Lightyear, the beloved character from the Toy Story franchise. Expectations were high, and for good reason. This was Pixar, after all. However, the film failed to capture the magic that made its predecessors so charming. Despite stunning animation and voice work, the film stumbled with its narrative. Critics noted that it lacked the emotional depth that Pixar is known for. The storyline felt disjointed, with a focus on action over character development. Buzz Lightyear, while iconic, came off as somewhat one-dimensional, and audiences missed the emotional connection they had with him in the Toy Story films. The result? A film that didn't resonate as strongly with viewers, leading to disappointing box office returns. Many fans left the theater feeling like something essential had been missing, a sentiment that was echoed across social media. Let's not forget Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which had a staggering budget of around $295 million. This film had the legacy of a beloved franchise behind it, leading many to believe that it would be a surefire hit. Yet, it faced significant criticism for its execution. Despite high hopes, the film was met with mixed reviews, primarily due to its reliance on nostalgia without effectively introducing new elements to engage the audience. Critics highlighted that the plot felt contrived and that the pacing dragged, resulting in a film that didn't live up to the iconic status of its predecessors. Fans of the original trilogy had anticipated an exciting adventure filled with wit and heart, but many felt that Dial of Destiny didn't capture the spirit of the earlier films. Instead, it leaned too heavily on CGI and less on character-driven storytelling, leaving audiences feeling somewhat empty. So why do so many big-budget films fail? At its core, it often comes down to a lack of focus on what really matters: storytelling. High production values and flashy effects can dazzle audiences initially, but if the script is weak, characters are forgettable, and the plot is a mess, even the best special effects will fade into obscurity. The focus on big budgets often leads to an over-reliance on spectacle. Studios may think that if they throw enough money at a project, it will automatically succeed. But audiences crave substance. They want relatable characters and a story that resonates. Moreover, big budgets can lead to increased pressure on filmmakers. The expectations are sky-high, which can stifle creativity. Instead of taking risks and exploring unique ideas, studios may opt for safe bets, sequels, reboots, and franchise installments that have a proven track record. This formulaic approach can dilute the magic of cinema, leading to more forgettable experiences. Another aspect to consider is how marketing shapes our expectations. A film with a large budget often comes with an equally large marketing campaign, bombarding us with trailers, teasers, and promotional events. This creates a hype that can be hard to shake off, leading audiences to believe that a big-budget film is automatically worth their time. When a movie doesn't deliver on its promises, the backlash can be significant. Audiences may feel betrayed, which can tarnish a studio's reputation. It's a double-edged sword. The very marketing that creates excitement can also amplify disappointment when the film falls short. In the end, movies are a form of art, and like all art, they should be judged by their ability to connect with audiences on a deeper level. It's about more than just eye-popping visuals and big-name stars. It's about crafting a narrative that resonates, developing characters we care about, and engaging us emotionally. So the next time you hear about a film with a blockbuster budget, don't automatically assume it's going to be a hit. Remember John Carter, The Lone Ranger, Lightyear, and Dial of Destiny? Instead, look for stories that pique your interest, regardless of the budget. Because when it comes to movies, it's not the size of the budget that matters. It's the heart behind the project. Ultimately, the film industry used to thrive on creativity, innovation, and genuine passion for storytelling. Those are the elements that will resonate with audiences, regardless of the numbers on the budget sheet. In a world where big budgets often overshadow creative potential, it's important for both filmmakers and audiences to remember: the best stories don't always come with the highest price tags. They come from a place of authenticity, and that's what we should all be looking for in our cinematic adventures.